B. Great to know you're keeping a lid on things back at the research center. This is video diary entry 0427, take 1. No. Take 2, again. Take 3, take 4. Ow, 5, ow. Hello, Beatrice, and hello to anyone else who's watching. I'm Buck Staghorn. Hey, Beatrice, looks like we've had a bit of snow here in the forest, which is perfect because there are lots of animal tracks to follow. I thought I even saw the Sasquatch this morning till I realized it was just me in the Beagle's side view mirror. Wah! Snow-covered trees. A winter wonderland. Now, what would you normally find here? Skiers? Families tobogganing? Maybe even a Department of Highways vehicle spreading grit? How about monkeys? You bet. These Japanese macaques are out to show you that you have some things to learn when it comes to simians. Not unlike their human counterparts, they enjoy a winter plunge to keep the blues away, not to mention the bugs. In this steamy spa-like setting, they enjoy getting away from the crazy monkey-eat monkey world. They take a dip and let the strains of jungle life melt away. They relax with friends or just spend some quality time alone with their inner monkey. You know, that little fella they lose touch with in this fast-paced, gotta-have-a gimmick jungle we live in. They rediscover the playful, childlike monkey in every biped. They pamper themselves with a good grooming session and a snack. But basically, they find that quiet place that exists in every monkey. Whether man, beast, or boar, we can all do our best to conserve our natural resources. For instance, our water. Now, whenever possible, bathe before a friend or after a friend. You've heard of walking in another man's shoes? Well, it's the same sort of thing, except wetter. Now, when you share the essentials, somehow we are all drawn closer together. You'll feel great, and you should be pleased knowing you've helped conserve water. As a courtesy to the next guy, don't get carried away. A quick dip will do. Even though there are regional size differences, a moose foraging for food in Montana is the same species as a moose in Siberia. It's not unlike having relatives you never see or speak of. Speed is a relative thing, but then again, so is my Uncle Roy. This cheetah can really zip along. Now, what kind of mileage does a cheetah get anyway? These wildebeest are pretty fleet of foot themselves, but I think they could use a dust filter or something. But they can turn on a dime. As far as this muskox is concerned, he's going full speed. Remember, it's not how fast you get there, it's how good a parking place you get. Speed and elephant. Two words you rarely find in the same sentence. But try to outrun one. Ditto for the elephant seals. And then the guys who taught the hare a lesson or two when it came to a foot race. But, as I said, speed is relative. And as far as this guy is concerned, he's moving like a speeding bullet. Oh no, no brakes. Oh, he can't slow down, he's out of control. Oh, a near tragedy. Oh, people, please, let's remember speed kills. Beatrice was recently asked to speak at a convention for bouncers. You know, the toughs who do security at nightclubs and bars. Needless to say, when you have this much ego contained in one area, things can get out of hand. Eventually, somebody's bound to get hurt. So, guard the little ones. The rule at this convention is safety first. And now, from nowhere near where you currently are, it's time to play Count the Emperor Penguins. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a double play, very nice. 9, 10, another double play. 10 penguins. 11. And 12, an even dozen. What a great turnout. Now wait, we could be in for a late bird for an unprecedented 13. No? Did I mention the killer whales who travel these waters? Oh, that might account for it. Okay. Well, then 12 penguins it is. Beatrice, I find this interesting. During the winter, some forest animals must dig through snow to find food. I can recall having to do the same with an old refrigerator I used to own. When you're hitching a ride, you want to make sure that you haven't caught the last deck chair on a sinking ship. I like to think that if someone wants your attention this much, you can't ignore them. Mind you, those who are needy are also persistent. Remember, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Still, you'll want to keep a good perspective on a relationship, maintain an even keel. Sometimes, a joyride is actually a ride on a warthog. Hold on tight and close your beak. The Sami, nomadic people of Scandinavia, use reindeer as beasts of burden to pull sleighs. The reindeer, or caribou, is the only species of deer in which both male and female have antlers. Antlers. They are also the only species to be affiliated with Santa Claus. Although primitive elevators were in use as early as the 3rd century BC, I would say that the chimpanzee discovered this mode of vertical transportation much earlier than our ancient civilizations did. It is the most practical way of moving your young around, especially when a good deal of your time is spent in trees. Going up, next floor, bananas, berries, and home appliances. You know, it actually looks like fun. Eventually, though, it's time to let the young ones get a leg up. Beatrice, there was a time when every elevator had an operator. Well, this is where they've all retired. Boy, this cold weather, you know, it really makes you want to go. Now, there's nothing wrong with being selective about what you eat. As you know, patience is a virtue. Gluttony is very unbecoming. Still, although my theory holds true, one must strike while the iron's hot. Yes! Grab those hors d'oeuvres as soon as they get to the buffet. Sagittarius, your moon is in the 7th sun. This is not the time to be waiting for something to happen. Get up. Move around. You'll live longer. Capricorn, friends will soon tire of your constant exaggerations. Stop bragging. Virgo, you are destined to be very popular. You are also destined to be dinner. You must have heard about how a squirrel stores its nuts for the winter. A beaver will do much the same thing with its food. In the winter, the beaver stays in his lodge chamber, and when hungry, will eat bark and twigs that it's conveniently buried in the mud. Wonder if he'll invite me over. So, how was the bug? Really? That good, was it? Oh, lovely. Here comes a long-tailed Jaeger. Now, if I can just frame it for a picture. Steady. Steady. No, wait. Oh, darn. Oh, here comes another one. Hold it right there. It's it. Oh, 2 at once. Yes, good. Okay, hold that one. Hold it right. Oh, okay, one. I'll take one. Good. A little closer. A little closer. Can you? No, you're coming in too close. No, you're coming in too close. Too close. Oh, rats. I often depend on the immediacy of frozen foods. The animals of the deciduous forest prefer their food to be fresh. The marten, a member of the weasel family, for instance, can climb treetops and maneuver in and out of branches with ease to find dinner. But he doesn't find anything like this. No, that doesn't make sense at all. Good takeout food is hard to come by. Sometimes you have to travel pretty far afield. You might get stuck in the snow. And when you finally do get some, you take it home and, well, dinner's cold. Gee. Hey, maybe they deliver. And while we're on the topic of food, nothing ruins a picnic faster than a trainload of ants. Well, worry no more. Get one of these, a thorny devil. Place a couple of these around your picnic blanket and kiss your ant problem goodbye. Unwanted guests of any kind will be a thing of the past. Dear Beatrice, I continue to marvel at how my reputation precedes me. I was honored to be approached by a group of former winners to be a judge in the regional finals of the Kris Kringle Lookalike Contest. Because of my background in show business, they felt I could assist with the gala. They really put on quite a spectacle. Dancers and precision acrobats and a huge jug band. Show business is not without its dangers, as I took quite a shot to the mandibles while watching the dancers warm up. I literally sat in with a precision clapping group from a neighboring village. They were able to reach some zen-like state and can perform for days without stopping. The finale of the show was to have been Bush Wishnitsky doing his high wire act. Well, no one explained to me that he was easily distracted, and I guess I spoke to him at a bad time. I'll send you photos when available. Your colleague, Buck. What's this, Beatrice? Any idea? Here's a closer look. It's a Magellanic penguin digging a hole. See? It's sort of like a subdivision. Every penguin has a hole. Hey, love what you done with the place. Beatrice, my plans to rebuild a scale model of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are well underway. This undertaking is great. I was inspired by the diligence of these dung beetles. Although the original seventh wonder of the ancient world took many painstaking years, I plan to build the model one ball of earth at a time. I know it sounds messy, and I'll be up to my elbows in dirt. But it's a tribute to the ancient Babylonians. And isn't it about time somebody did something for those guys? Beatrice, you know that old joke, why do birds fly south for the winter? It's too far to walk. Well, I have found the answer. Apparently, birds migrate to get at better food supply. The reason they come back is because of overcrowding. It's sunrise at this swamp, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to whip some ducklings into shape. Starting with a 20-meter route march. Because if you're yellow, if you're cute, if you're fluffy, you got fox food written all over you. Sure, it's tough, but if it was easy, everyone would be a duckling. Now the real test. The pond. You ask yourself, do you take to it like a duck to water? Sure, anybody can float. But it takes a real duck to swim in formation. And then, when you're older, it's on to the obstacle course. Because if you're gonna play with the big ducks, you gotta master the log. Because a good log is a duck's best friend. And as you can see here, even these seasoned mallards are having a tough time of it. These recruits will start off with an old log, half submerged, but as they mature, the challenge will increase. And now that the water maneuvers are developed, we move on to the next stage, flying. The porcupine looks almost invincible with all those quills. However, the cougar, wolverine, and fisher have beaten the system. They flip the porcupine over and attack its unquilled belly. Beatrice, as I often say, if you're going to make the effort of having a bath, then it's important to be thorough. It's not enough to scrub behind your horn. Remember, there's all that dried mud on your back. Not to mention that stuff you've been sitting in all day. I recently witnessed a compelling yet common behavior. It was a series of hermit crab shell swaps. The hermit crab will live inside the abandoned shell of a mollusk. It is like a recycling program where the end user has a place to live. Now, Beatrice, I've lived in some rundown apartments before and have often coveted the homes that friends live in. But it never occurred to me that I could just yank them out of their places and take over their digs. They, of course, could have mine in exchange. It's not like they'd be living on the street. Naturally, we would assume each other's leases. It's not such a bad idea. Although I could see how some people would be reluctant. You know how humans get possessive about their homes. You know, home sweet home and all that stuff. So, yes, the applicators can be a nuisance, but you can always use them for kindling. Our next letter reads, Dear Buck, I'm building my own canoe, and I'm wondering what the best position is for placing the carrying yoke for my shoulders. Signed, that's Hoser in Halliburton. Okay, well, here's a thought. Try putting 2 yokes so you can portage your craft from either end. Just remember to separate the yolks before you add the sugar so that it won't fall when it's in the oven. Okay, fellas, work with me here. Let's get a big smile to the camera. Come on. Big smile. A little smile. How about a grin? A grimace? How about nothing? Nothing? Great, I like it. Lovely. Thank you. The antlers of some deer get larger and more complicated as they get older. My aunt had a similar problem with chins. Oh, hi. Hello. No, I'm Buck Staghorn. Perhaps you've heard of me? I thought, well, maybe. Would you like to be in my video diary? Is that a no? Oh, what an incredible turtle. Hi, I'm Buck Staghorn, and I'd like to photograph you for my video. Oh, hey, fellas, Buck Staghorn here. Ah, these pronghorns look more reasonable. Buck Staghorn here. Would you like to be in my video diary? Anyone? Just one of you, please? Oh, hey, boys. You know, I'm looking for some fine-looking specimens just like yourselves for my photo journal. And would anyone like to be involved? Come on, guys, we have a snack table. Hello there. G'day, I'm Buck Staghorn. I can make you a star. I'm looking for animals with that quality. You get your own dressing room. Oh, hi. Buck Staghorn here. No. Buck Staghorn here. Could you... Hi there. Would you... Oh. Hi. Oh, hello. Would you like to be in a segment of my video journal? Oh. I take it that means no. Thanks anyways. When do you feel alone? You're never really alone. Not if you're with yourself. I can talk to myself. I can sing to myself. I never feel lonely. Well, the only time I think we ever really feel alone is when we need a good scratch in that hard-to-reach place. A stick might do, but nothing really does it like somebody else's claw. To be able to say, lower, lower, now, over to the left. Ah, that's the spot. To not be able to do that, well, that's when I feel alone. An animal coat can come in different colors. Take the gray wolf, for instance. It's not always gray. In fact, the colors can vary from white to black and all shades in between. Which, come to think of it, is gray. Staghorn Award salutes tree jumpers. Ho hum, you say? Well, look at this sifaka. There's nothing blasé about these death-defying jumps. And with a baby to boot. But for true grace in the treetops, we go to see a member of the gibbon family. What style? What grace? What grip? Without a doubt, the Grandmaster of the Branch and the winner of today's Staghorn Award. Congratulations! Well, Beatrice, it's that time of the video diary where I have to bid you a fond farewell. Oh, those are just wolves. Nothing really to be afraid of. See? There, it's all over. You know, wolves are shy animals and go out of their way to avoid humans. Let me show you something. Oh! Oh, looks like I'm going to have some company. Anywho, till next time, this is Buck Staghorn saying so long and watch where you step.
Is a special spot.